Hello, everybody. Hello. It is Friday, and we are back. We're so happy to be here with you on another Friday afternoon, and we are certainly looking forward to continuing our discussion on crime in the Bahamas. As you are aware, last week we looked at crime from the perspective of the family's role, and today we're looking at social systems and the legal system. But before we get into our topic, as always, Tony has in the news.
Madam, I'm so happy today, folks. Let me tell you something. Mel, you had a good week.
I had a good week. Restful.
Man, folks, I so happy. I want to sing for you all and all. You know, I can't sing for lick, so, when you can't sing, you better do what you got to do in the news before you embarrass yourself. Mel, you know what I'm doing?
I could sing.
You can sing?
See that?
Mm.
Yeah, that's the signal.
Right, we got one show coming up soon, folks, called Bahamian Music from its beginning. And right now, everybody jukka. No, we ain't talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about them Cito. You know them fellas back in the day couldn't sing. Mel, you know what I'm talking
What,
about?
the Daisito singers?
Yeah, them fellas like, who couldn't sing.
Acapella.
Yeah,
and
Joseph
all
Spence
those,
and all them believed they could sing, And you remember we used to go to church when them fellas would get them.
Guess what? They believed they could, and they could, because you mentioned a name that is an internationally renowned guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
So
Joseph Spence.
Okay.
I know we can take that music and we can mess that up, folks. Folks, you wouldn't believe how me and Melanie will take that music show to the next level. All them fellas who believe it, like Fred Ferguson, who believe they music genius and more. Hey, we got two right here. We can take and break it down. Diagnosis, diagnostics, whatever.
Oh, okay. Musical diagnostics.
Yeah, we can talk about KB, Funky D, Ronnie.
That sounds like a one-man show.
And then we can talk to the young folks. The young folks like Rick Carey and who that boy? What that boy name? That boy who can't know all them songs. From Exuma, man. That one. Boy, I can't remember his name. He'll come.
Oh, I know you meant Mackenzie guy.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
you got it. Yeah. That one. I play for. I remember. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you.
The one I like because she father and all that.
That's KB.
That's KB.
Yeah.
That's Mackenzie too, eh?
No. Mackenzie is the one we talk about. How Exuma Street. Down there. Oh, okay. Yeah, that one.
All right.
But we can mess that up. And see. Let me show you, folks. Let me show you how to mess this up. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, I gotta read in the news right now, but I gotta say, back in the day when you go to church and them fellas didn't know the words.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, there was no words.
And they do the do.
Yeah, so they know a couple words. So I can get a taste what you can hear. So you can't miss this show. You think I should do this?
Go ahead. Give them a, give
I
them.
was a sinner, Lord, and Lord I live in. 'Cause I live in on the hallelujah side. Watch me now. Glory be to Jesus, let the hallelujah ring, la 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 la, li 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 la li lo,
That's how it goes when you don't know the words.
La la li li la lo, Lord la la la, 'cause I live in on the hallelujah side. Folks, we got you next week. Whatever, not next week. Whenever we take that show, folks, you can't miss it.
Yeah.
Bahamian music, sweet, eh?
It sure enough.
Okay, in the news, Bahamas Air. We're going to talk to Bahamas Air this week. Bahamas Air. What the devil Bahamas Air? Bahamas Air say they're losing money. Now,
are they not?
Bahamas Air say they're losing, but Bahamas Air got to lose money.
Country
say they can't pay the staff and this and that. Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Tanquest, you was trying to be the prime minister of the country, and you got Bahamas Air. You going to tell me, Mr. Tanquest, that every month, you spending $1.3 million on a lease jet. Listen now. A lease jet. Let me give you advice, Mr. Tanquest. Take some of them Bahamas Air jet and thing. Take the seat out and turn them into cargo plane and bring some
Generate
some money.
funds.
Yemen people bring some money. That's in the news. We're moving right along. I on the news, I was looking for something sweet this week and something good, but I couldn't find nothing. But I find something that Bahamas doing great things.
Okay.
So in the news, Miss Judge Winder is now acting justice in the Court of Appeal down in Barbados.
Okay.
So kudos that we got a Bahamian doing great things in the news. This is what I'm talking about. We want to give us some stories, some good sweet stories. We don't want to talk about no politics and what's going on wrong
And bad news like the crime we're about to discuss.
Yeah. And then we talking about crime. We're talking about crime. Oh Lord, every time. I hope our country is not taking rights away from our Bahamian. In the news, we know Kyle Mills, an article.
Mm-hmm.
He make all kind of statements. He on the Facebook. He talk. All he do is talk. But I don't think he mean no good. And if he mean no harm, so if he makes a statement, they lock up Kyle Mills this week,
Yeah?
Yeah, lock him up twice. So when you lock somebody up twice, it seems like you looking for him. You're going after him. They lock him up once early the week, and then they come back, lock him, and then bring him to Nassau, and then they let him go. So I in the news, I think we gotta do better, man. Freedom of speech. Hey, listen, freedom of speech. I didn't even want to talk about my great commissioner. You know why he's always talking about me trying to stop him. But ain't him. Is he boss? Them trying to stop it. But I ain't getting into that's politics. We ain't talking politics. On this show, we don't talk politics. We give politics. All right. Last but least.
Hi, John.
Last but least. Oh, John, you hear that sweet. John, you think I couldn't sing? Put it up. John, I could sing. Watch me now. And I know music all my life. My mother was a singer. Everybody in my family was entertainer. So I good, And I forget the words, I could rhyme it too. So, in the news, your topic. I can let you take this last one in the news.
You think it's my topic?
Yeah, I can let you, because you like this stuff.
Well.
You take the last thing in the news.
COVID is with us.
Yeah,
I think it's a global topic. And of course, the nurses are getting hit left, right, and center. But as a nurse, I know that it is very important that you take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others? I think it's suicide to try and take care of someone else. Remember, we always talk about the aircraft thing. Put on your mask first before you put someone else's on. And so, people will differ on a number of points, but I cannot help but say that nurses must take care of themselves by whatever means necessary. And so,
all right.
How about our remedies?
And the news. Now, I know folks are waiting on that remedy. I got a remedy that folks that it grow right in the Bahamas, and it do well for these fellas who got back problems. These fellas who like lift woman. Like lift woman. And see it right in your yard, and you don't know what it is, but I can tell you. You see this here? First of all, a lot of y'all don't even know what this name. They say, a prickly pear.
Yeah.
You stick your prickly, or desert plant, or
it's from the
Cascus family.
Right.
But this is called a tuna.
Yes.
Tuna, and tuna is very good for your back. You men, woman. I can tell you what it's good for the woman for, but first for the back, for the men. All you have to do is pick a tuna, chop it up in dices, quarter pieces, mix it with coconut water. This, mix with coconut water together, and let it steep for overnight in the fridge, overnight, let it steep. It's good for your back. And also, this is also good for menstrual.
Yes.
Woman menstrual. This is very good. Don't forget it, you lovely Bahamian woman who like to run to the doctor. This is good for menstrual. This and this together, good for your back of the Bahamian woman or man. back pain, it work. Trust me. I ain't telling you what I hear, telling you what I know. This can work. So try it. And all them tablet people, you know them people like take all them tablets?
Yeah.
You ain't gotta take them tablets. This called tuna, tuna and coconut water mixed together.
Put it in a jar.
Put it in a jar.
Put it in the refrigerator.
Put it in the refrigerator overnight.
Yeah.
Drink it
A
periodically.
glass, yeah.
And you good to go. This will solve your back problems. Alright? Okay, back I can leave that one alone.
Anything else on your paper?
And you know what we were talking about for the music, the name of the guy, I just told you the mystery. I thought somebody would get me up and say, "Oh, you name D-Mac." That's the man.
Oh, D-Mac.
D-Mac and
okay.
Gino D.
Gino D.
Yeah, you got all that. And then
B, and then
yeah, but them
somebody
fellas
got Skelito or something like that.
and Ivy
yeah.
And listen, I like Bahamian music so much. Let me tell you how much I like Bahamian music. If you go way back, I like Bahamian music. I love Bahamian music. If we go way back, when you talking about Richie Delamore, Blind Big, you know, the fella, Marvin Henfield, Piccolo, Smokey, dun 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 dun. As I remember, long. Oh yeah, right on, moving that music. Tony music. Anyway, moving right along.
Okay, Valencia, Fernanda de Lancey. I have some right in my yard, so you can come on down and get some tuna.
Yeah.
And yes, Jan, it is a bit slimy, but
it's a bit slimy.
The coconut water helps
to stop the slime.
Yes.
And it don't have a taste. So you ain't gotta worry. It ain't bitter. There ain't one of this bitter stuff.
No.
You can just drink it, sip it. You know, I would say sip it. Earlier I was gonna say sip it with limited. You know, I put the little mix in it.
What, gin?
You know they put gin in.
Yes, a lot of people say don't drink gin. Gin just make you sin.
Well, you know, it's good to sin sometime. You know, if you're married. But you know, it's called tuna, and it's a tuna juice, and so you got to try it. You got to do it, and we got. Listen, next week I can give you a little hint about the fever grass. See, all y'all think y'all know about fever grass, but there's some things I can tell you about fever grass. You see? See, we ain't into that doctor thing and pills. Let me tell you, most pills got side effect.
Yeah.
And the natural stuff.
Of course, the medical people will tell you the natural stuff gets side effects.
Got a side effect too.
But
when you're natural, you're natural. When you come from the soil, you come from the rock, you can't go wrong. You ever drink salt water and cough, and the next morning, when you finish salt water, all the slime coming out your nose?
Actually,
So
that
that's
same
good.
day, especially if
Same
you
day.
take
Yeah, you
it
come in the water,
and put it
Same
up
day
your nose.
So that's natural. Bring out all them stuff on your
Ocean
stomach.
water.
Don't let nobody
Not
fool
the
you.
table salt.
No,
Go to
we
the
talking about the
sea.
sea.
Yeah.
So our topic today is crime.
Yeah, looking at the social and legal systems in terms of how it helps to combat crime. And of course, as always, we put out things on a daily basis on the Facebook page. And so we asked, whether we have an effective legal system. And I just want to thank all of those persons who have given a contribution to that discussion. We have Sharon Brown. She thinks that we do have an effective system. However, Marsha Major and Everett Thurston, they both think no. Everett says that the system that we have was generated for England.
Yeah, colonial
masters. We need to really look at revamping, revising that system to look at our needs within our country. And of course, as we quoted, if people perceive that the punishment will not come, then there is no deterrence. And he says that he has actually, had conversations with persons who were in problems with the law, and their perception is that it's easier to get off with murder than it is to do robbery. So he's saying that there seemed to be greater value placed on money than on life,
Yep.
than on human life, you know? And then we asked, you know, how can we improve the system? You know, we say badness is going to always be with us, but what can we do to reduce crime? And some persons say, well, you can't force goodness on people. It is something that they must themselves recognize the need to be good and to walk and talk goodness, right? However, when we ask the question, if you had the power to, or given the task of reducing crime, how would you approach it? And we had Sharon Andrews, who currently resides in Andres. She said, you know, give everybody an opportunity to be successful. And of course, I probed a little, you know, what do you mean to be successful? And she thinks that it is really a state of mind. How do you empower individuals to be the best that they can be? And the system within the country must facilitate, I anticipate, things like opportunity for education, employment opportunity, um, and then, of course, Jen Fernanda Rule, she said that parents need to exercise better parenting skills, more involvement in their children's lives, knowing where their children are, just like we talked about in last week's discussion. But I'm going to have you now give us your intake based on all of the contributions from these varied persons.
Well, I believe the show to you today. So
I don't think so. I don't think so. You have a lot. The thing is, I support Andrews in her perspective that
Right.
if we address the social ills, employment especially, right? And then also the suggestion from Everett, if we play with crime from a systems perspective, remember capital punishment? Now you have people could go to the prerogative board of mercy, and no matter how heinous the crime is, and he brought the attention in his example of the young boy whose body, you know, sodomized and then chopped or whatever, placed in the garbage bag, and you know.
But if you give me opinion, let me finish.
If we do not show the criminally inclined that we are serious about it now, I know the question or the thought process is prison the answer?
No, prison is not the answer.
Prison is certainly not the answer, which means then that we must begin to truly revisit our system and develop grades of rehabilitation, because number one, at the root of every problem, there is an underlying problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. But one of the see, let's take this. I can break this down. We can take this stages. Let's talk about
a specialism. Break it down.
Let's talk about the system of the court. Let's talk where we're having I think that's where we're having most of the problem. First of all, we still believe in colonial masters running us. The Privy Council. Why are we having these white men sit in the chair telling me what happens in my country? You don't even know my social, you don't know my social circumstances. You don't know
the culture.
The level, the culture. You don't know nothing. So what you do, you rule on based on how you feel, or
based on precedence. That's what they call it, right?
Based on precedent. And then they come up with this thing. They have this. How do they do it? How do they say? This case chapter 1, 7, this, that, this.
Section.
And then they come with,
Yeah.
then they come to you in the case of John Byrne
Mm-hmm.
versus Tony Williams.
Right.
Listen to me.
As examples.
As examples. Listen to me. If you tell me, and I ain't stupid, if you tell me the system, we take case by case matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because I might kill somebody because I crime of passion. It's a totally different ballgame.
Mm-hmm.
So how you sit in that chair and up there you can tell me it's crime of passion if you don't really know the culture and the makeup of our nation. Okay, so that's where the first thing we need to get rid of.
I think they look at the circumstances.
Yeah,
of
they
the,
follow
of the case.
They follow cases from 1960, and they just follow it straight along the line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we need in the Bahamas is this: we need our own court of appeal.
Okay.
And people might say because we can't do this because this one point, this one. No, we can get a court. We can make up a court of appeal. It's 6. We can get a judge from England, one from Bahamas. You see what I mean? We can
Caribbean brothers.
we can put our own court of appeal together, and we make sure to get people from the Caribbean who has the same type of culture, the same type of problems we have. One of the biggest problems our court system. Think about this. You try me 7 times. If I kill somebody, you try me 7 times, because the time you keep putting the case off and on and off and on and have me there for all these years, back and forth, you don't try me mentally. You don't try me. So even though you give me bail, mentally, I basically really not stable, because I don't know if I'm going to come in. So the first person jumping in front of my face, I can kill again. So that's when you have talk about the repeat offenders, even in murders, either in criminal violence, housebreaking, because you have this case on my head so long. How do I survive? So let me break it down to the lower term. You locked me up for stealing something with Melanie house. That case gonna be on my head. Then after I get charged, go to court, come out, I got a record for another 3, 4, 5 years. So I can't really get a job because I have this one case. When I spend my time, that should be abolished. Whatever it is should be done. I should move on. It might have been on my record, but it shouldn't be on my record when I apply for a job. Because now you holding me in a box. What we're doing here is creating crime.
Right.
So this colonial system is creating crime.
But I agree with you that what it's actually doing is creating a cycle.
Right.
A vicious cycle. It's creating frustration.
And it's not the crime.
What about, I mean, you hear about first offenders.
Yeah.
But when you look at the prison system, no matter how minor your offense, if you're not able to make bail, you go up there and you mix with hardened criminals.
But you know what's so sad? Man, this is so many things that is so wrong. You know what you said just now? That remind me something. A guy could kill somebody and he get bail next year. A guy could break up in the house and he don't get bail for a long time. A guy could steal, watch this now, a guy can steal at the food store, and because he can't make bail, he stay in prison until the case come up. You know, there's a case that I was following, and all the cases about the illegal immigrants. You know, most of them win those cases.
Okay, how is that?
The legal system.
Because what the legal system do?
The legal system is based on integration.
Okay.
So when you come to the Bahamas, most laws favor the illegals in the colonial system.
Okay.
Because what they try to do, see, the Privy Council in England, they believe in migration.
Okay.
The English believe in the French coming in, and they believe in migrating, right? And so most times they rule in that favor. So this boy Fred Smith is be laughing at us. When he go to the Privy Council, he always win. Laughing at us. Because most times the Privy Council is based on, their law are based on open. I won't say the word, but you know what I mean. Even in the man, marry man, they open.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
All right.
They're open, the justice
So
system.
they're unrestricted.
Right. They open.
Anything goes.
Right.
Everything goes.
They cater
to the deviant.
to their deviant little mind they have. That's what it is.
Well, now you see, you bring us now to who's at the base of creating and establishing these laws, and what is the motive. I remember, I perceived that the original laws stemmed from the biblical laws,
right?
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I could recall, by saying that, I recall when I was studying in the UK, the British Parliament was actively pursuing reducing the age of consent for males.
Yeah.
And that was because they had at least a 5% homosexual panel of ministers.
Yeah. Listen, in this world today, there's so much mix up in their people in their head. And when they sit down to make these laws and rules and they think progressive. And so they open because they think it's progressive.
Mm-hmm. And so it brings us back now to what Everett said. What will it take for us as a people to push? I mean,
we're human people.
The Bahamas has been an independent nation for 47 years now.
Please.
And everything that we met in place has been in place, albeit that the Queen is still our head.
Don't talk about
our
the Queen.
Sovereign head.
We don't talk about the Queen. That's the problem.
But there is no benefits to the Bahamians.
None.
Having her.
No.
Even as a Commonwealth nation, right? If you don't know your rights and you enter their territory, they will tell you, oh, you need this and you need that, and you know that the prejudice.
The politicians use that state of the head.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime they run to a problem and the law. That's what they use on us. Mm-hmm. The law say, and you ever see them in the House Assembly? They worship in the law, and then they tell you the law is silent. Mm-hmm. Then they worship, and then you know what's so stupid? You ever look at a court of appeals and all them, they're still wearing the wigs. The world is moving on. Look, they're still wearing this thing.
We're very colonial in our governance, but in our lifestyle, we are very American. So when you look now at the shift between those two influences, the crime is influenced by media, American media, and then the system addressing it is based on the colonial Westminster system.
Okay.
So
why? I can get back to that. But why is it we bowing to the Queen? Check this out. Let me give you real talk. Who makes all decisions in the country? The Prime Minister, right?
Well, the government.
The Prime Minister. And then they say the head of state is who?
The Governor General.
Okay. You see
he's the sovereign head, but all he is a rubber stamp.
You see the Governor General make any decision?
Rubber stamp.
Okay.
Based on whatever decision is made in the lower houses.
So why are we still talking about worship and bowing to the Queen if the man who the Queen put there ain't got no power? But listen, see you people, we gotta stop. People, I know it might be funny, but it's real. We gotta stop talking foolishness. But things gotta make sense. It have to add up. This colonial thing. Listen, in school today, we go back to crime. Crime today is taught even in school.
It's taught? What do you mean? How to commit it?
Yeah,
or how
in school.
To avoid it?
In school, because if you hold a kid in school for 8 hours, and he won't be there, you committing a crime there. That is a crime because
that's against his will.
Yeah.
But it is a law of the Bahamas that every child receive an education. I mean, we don't see it.
So why can't I train my child on?
Oh, well, in that case, you can
Okay.
homeschooling, but
Right.
then you must give a record
Yeah.
of that
Well,
schooling
why the state is telling me I
system.
have to take my child? That's colonial again. See, and then the school is based on teaching me, my child,
Mm-hmm.
how to be a lawyer or to be a hotelier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want my child, but that's what the school do. The colonial system is set up in a way
To keep the
to keep
system
the system going.
functional.
Yeah. So let's
But
go
it
back.
ain't about the individual.
No, but
It's
the
about the
system,
system.
the colonial system,
Right.
and that is you know what?
But we as Bahamians have bought that hook, line, and
Yes,
sinker.
yes.
Because trust me, that is where we get our points, to our bragging points. Oh, my son is this,
Yeah.
and my daughter is that. And let's get back to crime.
Yeah, go back to crime. Your son got a bachelor's degree, but your son worked for me who never been to school. You got it, folks? Let me say that again, because I think you missed it. Your son been to school for any more years you want to say it. 6, 4, 5, 6, 10 years. And come back and wait for the man who never probably been to school. Who's the smartest one? Say no more, moving on.
The boss.
Yeah, we're going to crime. See, foolishness is foolishness. I understand that's the system, and they're trying to get everybody can become a bachelor, have a bachelor's degree.
No. Not everyone
So
is
you gotta meet
interested
children.
in having
Exactly.
one.
Some kids don't want to go to college. So you got to meet people where they are.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back and
empower them to develop
Right, so
themselves
put this-
based on their interests, as long as it can provide them with an income to provide for themselves,
So
and not
put-
become a burden on the system or the parents.
Right, so put that system right back in crime. We talk about the kid go to school, learn how. That's what I talk about. Learn. So that kid meet a system in place, and he's frustrated in. He can't focus. He's not able to apply himself in that system. Once he can't apply that system, he's going to disrupt that system. So now what you do, you have a kid who don't want to be in the school.
So now we're looking then at, okay, we talk about social system, and we're looking at the education system, and actually making available options that will guide individual students along the path of their interests.
Right.
And
Right.
that could be
That's some of your crime problem. A kid might want to do mechanic work from small.
And the parents
trying to create. So this is where you have, see, like I said, the school is help creating. That's what
right. But
creating.
The parents themselves have been brainwashed by the system.
Right?
Because who today is not pushing their child to get a government job? And then when you look at because the government job is a short job, right? And the government job is where all the crap takes place, where there's no responsibility, no accountability, and
that's where all the T's are.
Service is out the window.
No, they don't
you go there and it's like you're disturbing them from what they really come to work to do, which is to sit around, talk with their friends, have a conversation, have breakfast at the start of the day, turn around and have a deep tea break, and then have a lunch break, an extended lunch break, and the list goes on. But that's crime.
But we ain't talking
that's
about
crime.
That. Yeah, that's crime. But we ain't talking about this today, but I can show you something. This you go on this way, so I can tell you what happened to me today. And I don't care. They I'm straightforward and I straight face, and they can look for me. I don't care. No matter. They can lock me up. They can do whatever they want. I'm ready for the revolution. Anyway, jail was made for man. Okay, that's what they did. But anyway, I went to Waterworks.
Jail is not the answer to crime.
No, but jail is. But that's what we do. You know what? You do your lockup. You lock up your COVID-19 or lock up all your people trying to solve COVID. Same thing. You lock up all the people, your criminals in jail. You ain't gonna solve the crime. When they come out, they can be double. They can be coming out angrier. Okay? The system failing. That's the way they can use. But let me go back to the thing that happened to me today. Went to Waterwick. Went to pay the bill. The cashier. I go onto the vendor. I ain't see nobody, so I go onto the vendor. The lady said, next window. That means the way she said it, I must go to the next window. So I go on to the next window. The guy said, so I go on back and look. She eating, to the window, the cat's right. She I say, good afternoon. Good afternoon. So the guy said, oh, okay, I'll save you. The next person in the window said, and she just eating at the cash. And you can't see her eating next window. I'd be like, okay, so what is this?
Yeah.
But it's coming. This is what we up to. We in a mess. A lot of us.
Accountability.
Yeah, a lot.
Professionalism.
Accountability.
Right?
So that's what I was talking.
Professionalism.
The problem we have.
And customer service.
That's going out the window. But I don't want to. Let's keep it on crime, because we don't go. So you go to court, and the judge don't hear you out, because see the system.
You jump to the judge. Let's start with the police.
Yeah, but
arresting the people.
Yeah, but I go backwards.
Some people are arrested. Some people are charged, and they are totally innocent.
Yeah.
And that's why we have an anti-police culture in our country.
No, we got a police state.
No, but the Bahamian people are anti-police.
Yeah. See, yeah. But see, like I said, talking about that.
Especially our young people.
You go to court, and because there's so much cases, and they look at how to reduce cases. They only look at the figures coming down. So the judge, Charlie sometimes they ask you how you plead. And if you say
not guilty.
If you say not guilty, they tell you, okay, come back. But if you say you're guilty, the judge look at you. No, you can't be guilty because we got to go to the process. I tell you, it happens. When you say you're guilty, the judge look at you and she say, yeah, I joined this case and tell so and so, because it's a screw up. But if you say you innocent, they fight with you. See, and the system is so corrupt that if you go to court, the intimidation factor, they use this intimidation factor, and the judge, see, we forget something. A lot of people has to understand, and a lot of society costs this. So the public, people are innocent
until proven
guilty.
But
society done try you in the public opinion, you're doomed. So
you remember the quote we used last week, right?
Yeah.
People are quick to judge you within seconds, whilst the system that should be the judging takes years.
Yes, right.
Right? I'm frustrated though. I believe that we need to find a way. We talk about how parents need to become more involved, make their children more comfortable, know where their children are, and so forth. I think that's half the solution. The next half is establishing a system that is effective, that will address the hard, I had another quote, let me see if I can find that, but it talked about the fact that punishment is but legalized crime in a society built on prevention rather than retaliation. There would be very little crime. The few exceptions would be those individuals who needs to be treated medically. So this person is basically saying, when you create prisons, you legalizing crimes.
Yes.
Right? You have to focus on prevention. You have to filter out those persons who are really, really criminals, right? And these particular ones are the ones who basically would perhaps be found to have some psychological, social, and in that case now you're really looking at rehabilitation.
Right.
Because prison should be for rehabilitation, not a cage to hold people.
But you know something? Right on that same thing you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, follow this. A crime is committed, but I watch 48 hours
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to come to
With
of
some
knowledge.
right.
Each crime tell a story.
Yes, they do.
Good detective
Yes.
find a story.
Yes.
Okay.
But we're not concerned. We're not interested in stories.
No, we don't need a story. And so most of the crime that committed murders against family members, most of the crime that committed against family members, it has a relationship to mental health.
Mental health, but also yes, I understand.
Okay.
I was going to say
Yeah.
right,
And
along with some other stuff.
right, but it's mental health.
But
Okay.
mental health doesn't mean that you are
Crazy. There you go.
or incapable
Right.
of communicating.
Right.
It has to do with effective communication.
And so, when we're talking about mental health, not really mental health, when we're talking about mental health, the story is this. The story could be this. I want to say something, and I can't say it.
Yeah.
Simple as this, folks. Folks, watch this. I want to say something and can't say it.
Mm-hmm.
Still going back to the school principal. I want to do something or be somebody or be a part of something,
And
they
there's
won't let me do it.
resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you're boxing me in.
you're boxing me in.
I'm becoming frustrated.
So in the classroom, go back in the classroom. I want to stick with
in the home.
Yeah, in the classroom most times, the kid that is most disturbed in the classroom trying to tell a story.
Yeah. Trying to get some
trying to get some attention.
Have a voice.
There's some underlining, and that's where the crime develop because they can't. I use the word express with their mouth, but that's not it. Expressed. It's here and it can't. So the way they express it, by physical, by words they say, by things they do. So if you follow these crimes, they have a story at the end. So what we need to do is deal with the stories at the end. What we call solutions. How that we stop most of the human guys from smoking dope. Smoking dope make them down or up, make them aggressive, and they act out.
Communicating.
And they act out.
Irrational.
Yes. So that's where we talk about the level of acting out or speaking out. Then we have, when they then do it, most times, they didn't mean it.
But we hard on them.
And then we compound it.
Yes.
When we say, we drag him and humiliate him with the shackle to your feet, shackle behind the hand, and talking to him down like he's...
And you know
and
what?
the mental state at that moment, the mental state is so far off. So the voice of it is the court system. Because now the court is not smart enough to see that, listen.
Because they're following precedents.
Yes.
They ain't following the
There you
case.
go.
No individualized case by case.
They're putting all you in the basket now.
Yeah.
One basket. One rule. All y'all niggas need to be in jail because all y'all spoil society that I can drive my fancy car and go everywhere and I can't drive it.
But Tony, let me tell you something. And
crime only for poor people.
A number of situations, as you spoke, came to mind for me.
Yeah.
Number one, teachers in the classroom also contribute.
Yes.
Parents in the home also contribute.
All the time.
And it's like one compounding series of events that results in resistance, increasing, modulating frustration, right? But then on top of it, when the police come now, I remember, the level of respect that you had for police in our day. It's like there is none now. And I could say some things, but I won't say it because it would sound biased. But we... they had logos, they had mottos that the police is your friend. They introduced community policing and all of that. But I'm wondering if the caliber of policing now is, we've become too educated. We don't have we lost the human element, every time we talk about they call Lyndon the father of our nation, and they said, and again, Pastor Rochu just died the other day. Talk about them walking with kings, but never losing the common touch.
They never
And I'm
lost.
like, we're becoming educated, but we are losing our humanity.
We're losing it. See. And they know you don't like me to go here with this, I call him this knucklehead.
Go ahead.
This prime minister we got. He always.
Yeah, no, I don't like it for truth.
Yeah, you don't like it because you saying this. But listen, he's the master. See, this is the mafia now, the commissioner of police, the prime minister, and Madeline, that's a mafia. See, you got to understand what's going on. You got to watch how it's being played out. And it's being played out where we use COVID-19 every excuse. But you know what they're doing when they shut you down now?
Mm-mm.
They fighting crime.
Okay.
They ain't fighting COVID. Because if they're fighting COVID,
well,
they would have done more. They would have done more tracing, more testing in COVID.
Didn't COVID contribute to crime though?
COVID, hold on. COVID now
Mm-hmm.
is stopping the murders that we having early in the year and last year.
Well, it
Keeping the records down. See, this is a game. But let's stay on focus. I won't go there. Let me stay on focus. Let me tell you what parents, just listen to this. This is powerful. When a girl get pregnant in the house,
mm-hmm.
the trauma she goes through.
Mm-hmm.
Now this girl might get pregnant, make a mistake, and because you hard and fast and your friends in the church can get all, you're supposed to be Christian, look at that. Listen, them friends, don't worry about them. You ain't know what they're doing. They ain't white nothing anyhow. I ain't moving. But let me stay on focus. And this young girl get pregnant. And you putting her out. That's the first thing. Get in my house. And then you putting the pressure on her. But parents, you don't know the trauma you send this child through. Let me break the trauma down. She probably been with this guy that she's sorry that this happened.
Mm-hmm.
This might be her first time. Secondly, she mightn't be feeling well.
Okay. And
But
often in pregnancies,
right.
especially
Thirdly,
pregnancies,
she may have her own embarrassment, that she is embarrassed that this happened. So mentally she going through this. But let me tell you what is a serious problem. You rowing and carrying on, but you don't even know if this child being raped.
True.
The child can't talk to you because you acting like a fool. See.
So you're intensifying the fear, you're compounding the trauma.
Right. And this girl probably out of it because what happened? So she can't even tell you.
Probably right there thinking how she could kill herself.
Right. So I brought this to your attention. This is how criminals feel sometimes. When you lock me up, I'm innocent. I know I'm innocent. But I can't talk to this knucklehead policeman who dragging me
and telling me shut up.
And telling me shut up. And yes, you do it. And then probably beat me in the station.
I just was going to say
and so now,
about the horror stories.
I am in the station thinking, this is all I'm thinking. Boy, these niggas who do this to me, that gal who fella called my name, I gonna break, when I come out here, I gonna break out. You lucky, I can break all the house on that street. And I can terrorize this town. And so, but think about this now. Then I go back to you, Melanie. Think about this. Let me tell you why these police are dangerous. You give a 19 or 20-year-old young kid from the street become a policeman. You give him an $80,000 car and a $1,000 gun and a uniform. He's the most powerful man on the street. And if he don't have no brought up, and if he don't have no understanding, and no parent, no love for humanity and love for one another, he's a dangerous weapon on the street.
So you're suggesting Tony, from that, because as you speak of that, the investment,
Mhm.
the uniform, the car,
And the power.
the power, and the taxpayers' money
Yeah.
for salary.
But he's a boy.
Right. But not only that, the vetting process.
He come from us now.
The vetting
From
process.
the ghetto.
Yeah. And they come from homes that they see violence
Yeah.
being exhibited. And for some of them, some people did them something back in high school, and they happy they have this power that they can hide behind.
Yeah.
To get their vendetta. Or, to retaliate.
To retaliate on the fellas, yeah. And then you have, see, crime is only based on us and them.
Okay, explain.
Us and them people, them. Them means poor. Them over there.
So who are the us?
Us is the one who got money who move over to cable.
Okay.
Move over to the, yeah,
well,
them.
Still the us, okay.
Yeah. Us
all right.
and them.
So paint the picture of the crime status between us and them.
Us and them, they could do everything they want, and they got their lawyer and friends to get them off, get the money.
Oh, so there's disparity between the rich and the poor when it comes to crime.
Only poor man go to jail.
Wow.
See, because when you go in front of the judge, because you so and so in society,
or so and so son,
right away, you don't almost win your case. But see, when you're nobody and you ain't got no money,
nobody's child.
You is stand up.
Yeah.
Why you wear this color shade? See, you got to go through the whole to let you know I powerful. I am the judge.
Hearing you say that just passes my heart because it's the reality.
Yeah,
it's the reality.
But it's reality because we created.
How do we change it? How do you change it? First of all, it's our leaders. The ones that we select politically or religiously.
Oh, but when I say leaders, I'm not talking political. I'm talking about religious leaders, our legal system,
the judiciary,
our political system.
Mm-hmm.
See, they stay in a cycle to keep the wealth in that circle. They don't let you in.
Children.
Yeah, they don't let you in that system. That system is blocking by also function. Social function.
Yeah.
Social
yes. Okay. And that's why we group the legal and social systems together.
And that is why.
Because it's hard to determine where the boundaries lie.
But you notice, all of a sudden, what do you want me to call them? Us and them, or you want to call them leaders? What do you want?
The us and them may be a little, saying that you have already established that as a part.
And them, okay? The us. Well, live in the gated community now. They want to lock their way. But see, their stores, where they make their money, is in the ghetto.
Okay.
See, what we need to do is show them a lesson or two. We need to go to our mom and pop stores.
In the ghetto. The ghetto owners.
Yeah.
Support them. Own.
So once we support them so they can feel it, then they started to feel what we feel.
Okay. But haven't they also matriculated up the ranks of our social strata?
Yeah. But the same fella, see, when I was growing up, right? The fella, we used to worship, but when I was growing up to the channel, we used to worship drug dealers. We said, boy, you got a bad car. Boy, you got a big... He used to be our, hero. And then it wasn't him. It was our entertainers. Now, today, is a different thing.
Who is it?
It's our politicians. And our lawyers.
What about the pastors?
Yeah, the pastors too.
And the doctors.
But that's what I'm talking. That's us and them. They're talking about us and them. Yeah, them people. Us. they reach. See, and they come from us.
And the divide. Yes.
And they come from us.
Yes.
So now, what has happened is we had created this. See, we the poor people create this. We vote them in. We let them. See, listen now, I think. we let them have free education on our taxes.
Okay.
Only poor people pay taxes on our taxes. So they go to school, get educated.
But they said we just start paying taxes. We never paid taxes in the Bahamas.
Listen, we always pay taxes.
Until VAT came in.
Listen, stop talking craziness. We all pay that. We drive on the road, we buy driver's license, and we pay taxes then. The light bill was always tax on the light bill. We tax on the gas we buy. What you talking about? We always pay taxes. Don't let them fool you. Listen.
Well, at least
I even talk politics.
So the only tax we don't be taxed on is our incoming. But every time you spend,
the church taxing us
these days now, everything, and I'm like,
everything going
I think I get taxed about 10 times on one thing because, take for instance, you put your money in the bank, there's a tax.
Oh,
you take it out, there's a tax.
Oh,
you go to the store to spend it, there's a tax. And, you know, the list goes on and
but
on.
the bank don't want us, niggas. The Canadian banks don't want.
We don't have enough money.
Listen what the Canadian banks do.
Rich.
The Canadian banks. People get with this. Canadian banks now. Soon start. You can't pull no more money out your bank account unless it's about $1,000.
Some people even have $1,000 on their account.
That's why they put it so high. So the poor people don't come in the bank. Look at them. That's why they have you stuck in this long line. And now you notice every year they stop at a service, a type of service, stop at service, and they want you to, they want to get you out the bank. You black people don't understand.
That's criminal.
Yeah. So.
And you know, a lot of people money go missing out of the bank, right?
See.
Talk about crime.
Yeah, but the system, we allow it. See, if we will tell them take their bank out of our country and we put Bahamian banks. Let our Bahamian brothers run.
We don't have no faith in our own people.
No, because our leaders tell you Bahamian can't run nothing. The leaders say that. Hold on, our leaders, we vote in. We vote them, and they tell us, we vote them in, and they telling us what we doing.
Well, we know foreign is best, and
but I don't stay with Ukraine.
Only take. Yeah. Foreign is best, and foreign exchange only takes place in the bank.
Right.
Okay.
So get back to this crime thing. Solutions. There's all kinds of solutions. We can do all sorts of things to solve this problem. One of the solutions would be don't lock these fellas up for marijuana.
Okay, so I am thinking don't lock them up, but have a penalty of some form. I mean, community service has been something in America and other parts of the world for an array, and there is so much that can reduce the expenses of the government by having offenders do a lot of this work as penalty for their crime. But you know what? We lock them up and then we turn around and we give them 3 meals a day and a secure place to sleep. And they sit down, and if they have their devices, the only thing they do is play games.
And don't legalize marijuana neither.
I agree.
Don't legalize it, because if you legalize it, you're going to run into another problem.
Oh, Lord.
And that problem you can't control. Don't mind these fellas. Nah, Bobo Shanti and all that. Don't mind them. They're my friends. Diamond and all. They're my buddy.
But you
and I know they're fighting.
They need to hear from the medical society because they're trying to say for medicinal purposes.
You could do that.
Our medical professionals need to come forward and provide the information that will help in making the right decision regarding it.
You could do that. See.
Trust me, too many homes are in the turmoil.
Yeah, too many homes. So you could do it in a way.
Alcohol.
Figure it out. But there's too many young men on the street.
Guess what?
All they want to do all day is smoke dope. Dope give you no hope.
But Tony,
dope don't make you no smarter. Don't believe in that.
You are seeing the ones that are on the street.
All day.
But do you know that many employed individuals in both the public and private sector are daily users of the drug?
But you see, let me tell you.
And the functionality, and maybe that's why when we go to the counter, the people look at us strange. Because maybe they may be a little high, you know.
Listen, dope And there's a thing about dope. Dope is no joke. Let me tell you all something. You have some fellas who smoke dope. They don't have the effect at that moment.
No. But later
Later
down.
down the road.
And sadly enough,
Mhm.
I could tell you, I've seen it right within the radius
Yep.
of my home. The bam, bam, bam. The children cursing the parents.
Yep.
The outright
Yeah.
unruly
Disrespect.
behavior.
Listen.
And the judgment. The
Yeah.
judgment
Yeah.
on that they make is just so off.
And then they always come up, make the dope make them seem that they smarter than everybody. They can speak to you in different languages. Well, I can speak 5, and I don't smoke dope. So you ain't smarter than me, and you come talking your fool. See, don't come to me with no foolishness. See, listen to me. I even could create a language. So you tell me you're smarter than me. So the point I'm making is this. When these guys smoke dope, they don't want to really work. They don't. They want to work. They work half day.
Mind you.
They don't have that. They need more dope to get more energy. So after they done work 4 hours, they got to go smoke again to sneak in the bush.
I am gonna.
It's a mind thing.
I'm gonna take the stance with marijuana as I do with everything. Whenever you use a substance, whether it's recreational or essential, you must think and be aware and be honest with yourself about the effect that it has on you, the effect that it has on those around you. But even the food you eat,
Yeah. See,
everything we have to do in moderation and also do it in wisdom, out of a sense of responsibility, out of a sense of love for yourself and those around you.
But parents, let me give you a real. See, we continue on this crying thing, so we got to get some solution here.
Yeah.
Parents,
As we
be
wrap up.
careful where your child. Know where your child is at.
Know
who
the
you hanging
friends.
with.
Know the friends.
Know what's going on in your child life. Because if you don't know what's going on in child life, down the road is some great pain. You can be some great pain. See, crime, I believe, my mother told me this, but I have to go with it. She been in the world longer than me. She see more things. She say crime starts from home. That's what she say. Now, when I look at that and break that down, when she means crime start from home, she didn't mean necessarily in your house, in home environment. Your neighbor child, this one who come in the next one. See, crime start in a community. The village has been broken down, and that is where our problems start. When I was growing up, there are guys who played checkers and domino. But if they see you cross the street cussing, you know what they can say? Hey, boy, what you doing?
Yep.
They bring knowledge to you. No more. No more that. No more that. No more that.
You do that today, and they turn around.
Who you talking to?
And they cuss you.
No more than that. And then, I must say this, and parents, believe me, you are failing these children because you don't even send these children to church. Let me tell you why church is important.
Send them, take them.
Let me tell you why. My mother used to send me. You sometimes send me with the neighbor next door. Let me tell you why it's important. See, church has the issues, bunch of issues. But let me tell you why it's important for them to go to church.
Awareness.
The awareness. See, the pastor, even if he lying, he talking about God.
Or if he ain't
living his life, he talking about God.
Yes.
He's saying that what God says, and he trying
teaching you principles.
Teaching some principle.
Yes.
I have to give kudos to Neil Ellis for
The
Pinewood
Minister of
Garden.
Prosperity.
I have to give him, even I don't mean him for the prosperity, but I have to give him credit for him working in his community. I have to give Pastor Butler, my pastor, for working in their community.
That's what the church should do.
And you notice, see, let me tell you. You're talking about living. Let me give you the history. I can give you a long history. So you can know a short one, a good one. Neil Ellis come out of Monta Lights. Don't let me fool you. He come out of Monta Lights. And when you see Maxim, Raymond Wells, possible Raymond Wells, that one who's talk, he come out of Monta Lights. The other Wells on top of the hill, he's still in Monta Lights. The Christian Council president come out of Monta Lights.
All the Island boys settled
Yeah.
in Monterey.
Pastor Ferguson, still in Monta Lights. Carlos Reed, he live in Yalella, but he never stayed there in Yalella. He only sleep there. He from Monta Lights. When you see him, ask him. The same Carlos Reed you all talk. He from Monta Lights. But you see, ask him, say, Carlos, where you used to hang out? He tell you. And let me tell you, used to hang out with. See, because you remind him this. A fella named Lawler. Lawler got killed. Carlos Reed and Lois went to Bahamas here. I ain't telling you what all these fellas, Pastor Duncan, all of them smoke dope in Monta Lights. All these fellas you see now leading this Christian
Council and the leadership in the church.
They from Monta Lights.
Which speaks volumes about the effectiveness now. And like you say, and
I from Monta Lights, that's how I know. So they can't tell you like I from Monta Lights.
It brings us, Tony, to that, we try to stay away from quoting too much scripture, but it say train up the child in the way he should go. And when he's old, he will not depart from it. Now, we all could talk and pull some stuff from our past that was contrary to what we were taught. But the important thing is we were taught it. Because if you are not taught, then you don't know any better. And that, as we highlighted last week, is where parents are failing. They're failing to teach their children right from wrong. And in teaching, I remember they used to say this thing back in the day, do as I say and not as I do. But the strongest message, the most impressionable message that you can send someone is by the life that you live. So in the home, don't be swearing and abusing physically, verbally, and expect your child to go out there in the world and do something different. A child becomes what they live. They learn what you live, the example you set for them. Because trust me, if you tell them don't do it, and they see you doing it, they ain't gonna do it in your presence, but as soon as they get out there in the street, they're gonna do it. So, message for the police. Wrapping up.
The police?
Solution. A good solution.
A good solution, please.
Improve
Please, let me say this.
relationships.
It's a community, and you are part of this community. You ain't no monster. You ain't the military. Military don't ask questions. They come in and swipe out. Police come, ask question, get information, store information. By me and you in the community, we can make this thing better. But if you bully everybody, you don't get no information. We love the police. And
they are essential.
And they're essential
for order in the country, in
but
the society.
The rate we going with this, the police got to be firm, be strong. But the rate they going now with this like you forcing people into this. How about like my friend Adrian Francis say, how about this? He used that quote. How about this? But let me tell you how about this. How about this? Excuse me, sir. Go home. No, go home. How about this, sir? Excuse me, sir. How could I help you? Your child is being disruptive. Bring the child. Let me see. How about like Adrian Francis say, how about this? How about this? You stop dealing with the public when you're drunk. How about that?
Wow.
How about that? How would you
show
being respect?
Yes.
When you walk, ain't everybody gonna curse, and ain't everybody can take a curse. There's some decent, law-abiding citizen. Sometimes they might make a mistake.
Yeah.
Sometimes I might turn into the wrong corner. How about turn back and go that way? How about approaching a family matter with professionalism? These two husband and wife having this fight. How about being a big brother? How about counseling sometime? How about, why you just want to be aggressive? How about just take one outside and how about that? How about when you meet a young guy with a joint, with a joint? How about take that joint and teaching the brother this is the wrong way. This is gonna end up you the wrong way. Go home. Go home to your mom. Take him home to Sarah and Miss Miller and Mr. Take him home and say, I meet your son, 15-year-old, smoking this dope. You need to get him some help or talk to him.
You know, back in the day, parents used to take their difficult children to the police station for them to have a talk with them. I don't know that any parent even trusts doing that anymore.
It's community. Build your community.
Yes.
What you want. And you're part of this community. Yes. Let's build this community. Yes. Let's build this country. Listen. The decision some of us make will be so stupid you wouldn't believe it. And so you have to help us not being stupid.
And so for the legislators, what do we say to
Oh,
them?
Jesus, get off your high horse. You was part of me.
Come
down.
Forward to the 21st century.
Come down. You were part of me. Wear your heart.
Yes. Wear your heart. Why you use our quote?
Yeah, wear your heart.
Do you have any compassion?
Do you have any compassion?
Yes.
All right. So, the boy might made a mistake. And this is first offense. The law say this and go to 200 to 600.
Yes.
How about 200?
And crime affects us all.
Because this is a whole thing spiral. The minute you put him up there, spiral, the old prisoners and the old inmates can teach him how to thief and come out.
Yes.
And he can come to your house and thief.
Yes. And then, you know, there's one other thing for parents. Do not assume because your children's friends go to the same school or go to the same church or go to live in the same neighborhood even, that they and their parents hold the same values that you hold. You have your children have their friends, but talk about what happens with your children. Ask them, you know, and have your ear open. You're not dumb, you're not stupid. There are certain things, if your mind, your feeling tell you something about the behavior or mannerism of a child, follow that instinct and try to build other people's children up too. And parents, for God's sake, allow other people in the community to help you raise your children. I think we have not totally lost our sense of love, compassion, and caring for each other, but we have to stop being competitive, stop being the them and us, and remember we are all one nation, one people. Crime affects us all, and so therefore we must do our part to make sure.
But I gotta end this. See, we coming to that time to end this, you see, and it's a part of the parent. We end it right now. Our show can't be got much time. And you know how these children feel. Some of these children even feel. These children even feel like they. So let me.
What do you mean they feel like what?
They feel like, let me tell you. I can tell you. We can end this how we start, you see. And you know, like I say, I can sing because I start singing, so I can sing it out. And you know the kids feel, I'm nobody's child. I'm nobody's child. Just like a flower, I'm growing wild. Nobody
no mommy kisses.
And no daddy smile.
Nobody
wants me because I'm nobody's child. You know that song?
Don't let your child
sing that song.
Ever.
Don't let your child sing that song. Don't let them feel that way.
Yes.
Remember, me and Melanie are having a show out this world. We can talk about me and him. All them fellas who strung together. You know them fellas, Pat Carey and them. We can have a show. Indian music. If I get lucky, I may start my raking straight. Listen here. Shake up. Oh,
So next week, by popular demand, we're gonna resume
Our series on why did Tony have a sweetheart?
relationships, okay? And maybe I will start and he will be able to tell you why. I hope you're prepared for when it's time to go home.
We're going back to our relationship series.
Yeah.
We didn't hit religion yet.
No, we haven't.
But we will inform you.
We'll integrate it somehow.
We will bring back. We gotta take the religion to the next level.
Yeah.
So when you see how I'm a historian of the Bible, Lilith. So we got deeper in that. But on popular demand, people want to go back. Relationship. They want to know more about relationship. So we can talk a little more about sweethearting,
communication,
yeah.
getting it right.
Why is good for a man to have two women instead of one? The Muslim thing. They say you can treat both.
It ain't only the Muslims now, trust me.
Okay, but he been fake. We even gotta do.
Well, we have adopted the British way, and Christianity originate out of the British pioneers, missionaries coming to our land. But I was doing some research the other day, and I learned that there are over 86 countries that allows polygamy.
Yes.
Over 86. And we're going to go into that. We're going to continue with that next week. But we want to thank all of you that have made a contribution to this discussion on crime in the Bahamas. And I know it will be touched.
We see you, Jen.
The tip of the iceberg, and we, I'm sure, will come back to it, but we really appreciate those persons that have been fostering Tony on the streets. But we want more of you, please, like our page, like the videos, so that we will know that you are there. Give some feedback, give some comments. Don't be like a sponge, you know? Do a little more. Be like the fish that breathes in the water and lets them out. You know, you're sharing and be happy that you are sharing. But let us know your view. It's important to us. We want to know whether we're doing good. Just, you know, a little encouragement, a little pat on the shoulder. You know, Tony is getting them, but we need them here on the page. I am not the person that go on the street, but I work the Facebook page, and I'm happy for those that are responding via that route. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend. Remember to stay safe because COVID is still with us.
COVID boogie. You want me to sing it for you? I got a boogie, you know. Watch it. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. The COVID boogie. Let's get. See you next week.